What's up, everybody? So today I'm going to be talking about the whole VRBO, Airbnb crash that is supposedly coming that some people have been hearing about. So I'm just going to give you a perspective from a local real estate agent today on just kind of what's happening. But before we get into any of that, if you guys could subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with your friends, trying to be a resource, trying to help people understand what's going on in this market in the greater Phoenix area and in real estate in general, just to give that information to people so they can make the best decision. So let's get into it. So let's just be real. Like, I hadn't really heard of this. I had a couple people reach out to me and just say, hey, have you heard about this? And I was like, what are you talking about? So, I mean, whenever I hear the word crash, red flags always go up because a lot of people, especially online, social media, whether it be YouTube, Twitter, whatever it is, they like to throw out these words that kind of invoke fear. Crash is one of them. You know, obviously 0809, everybody refers to it. Oh, 0809, the crash. There's only been two in history, 0809 and the Great Depression. But people say crash all the time because they want to gain notoriety. They want people to look at them. They want people to subscribe to them because obviously a lot of these people, they get paid for the more subscribers they get and views and all that stuff. There are some good resources for some of these, so I'll actually put some of the other videos that I've watched, and some of them are either local agents or maybe even some lawyers, different things like that, talking through some of that. So that way you guys can watch some other videos because I'm not going to go in depth as much as they did. So really, the crux of the matter is there's a guy named Nick Gurley, who's a big prominent guy on social media, and he went off saying the crash is coming from VRBOs, and pretty much what they're saying is there's a lot of, he has these graphs where he shows charts of everything and like pictures of like Phoenix, and because Phoenix is one of the top ones he's talking about. And what he's saying is there's so many VRBOs, Airbnbs in Phoenix that are struggling. They're not making as much money. And so they're just going to massive sell and they're going to flood the market, right? So that's what they're saying. So in doing some research, I find some of this humorous. I do. Because as I said earlier, I always have red flags when they talk about some of this stuff because the fear mongering, I hate it. It's just dumb. But when I start looking back through and some of the videos I'm putting in the description talk about this, in 2021, he called for a crash. The crash is here. And if you know anything about 2021, it was the complete opposite. It took off, it skyrocketed. He said the same thing in 2022. We did go down a little bit in 2022, but it wasn't a crash, right? So the big fear, and I understand both sides of this. So the fear is there's a lot of people not making as much money. They're saying revenue is down for Airbnbs and VRBOs. So all these people are just going to massively sell. Were there a lot of people who bought here in the last couple of years because of the Super Bowl and different things like that? Yeah, there were. And could a lot of them sell? Very possibly. But it's a matter of the scale that we would have to have them selling all at once. I mean, it would have to be all at once, right? So that's what they're saying. Oh, it's all going to happen at once. They're going to flood the market. Well, we already don't have enough houses. Supply and demand, right? Everything I always talk about with real estate is local. It is not national. They like to talk on these national scales, and you just can't do that. You have to talk local. So yes, there are a lot of VRBOs, Airbnbs. Do I think that Phoenix is probably oversaturated with those? Yeah. Do I think that people are going to sell? Maybe, yeah. Especially if people bought with a mortgage in the past year or two where interest rates are really high, yeah, they might sell because they're not making as much. People who bought pre-2022, so like 2021, 2020, and they have like a 2.5% interest rate, maybe they're not going to sell because they could possibly be making a good amount of money. And the biggest thing is they talk about revenue is down. Okay, does that mean they're losing money though? And that's where some of these discrepancies come in because I know Airbnb owners who are doing just fine. They are making money. Yeah, they're like, yeah, we're not making as much. But part of that could be because the economy is going downwards. Maybe people aren't traveling as much. There is an overpopulation of the amount of VRBOs, Airbnbs. Now you have hotels that might be cheaper because think about it. The original draw to Airbnb and VRBO was being cheaper than hotels. And you get your own house or maybe a room or whatever it is. And that can still be the case. But now have you seen some of the cleaning fees for some of this stuff? It's nuts on Airbnb and VRBO. So it's one of those that it is starting to be oversaturated where the prices keep going up. It's like, well, maybe that's not realistic. So could there be a lot of people who sell? Yeah, it's possible. We're at 11,000 homes on the market right now. And normal's 25,000, maybe 30,000 homes on the market. we still have a long ways to go until, we get to normal. So it's one of those that I think it's so hard because it sounds like it's just clickbait. This is what a lot of what it is. And the hard thing too is nothing is ever certain. No one has a crystal ball. So a lot of these people are trying to forecast in case they get it right. But obviously we know he's forecasted it before and he was wrong. So it's a matter of when we look at these people, when they pull information, where are they getting their information from? Is it one fringe source or is it multiple solid sources who have great data? It's hard, and that's where you have to really do your research on anything you're watching. From a local level right now, we just don't have enough inventory. We're not seeing that massive influx of VRBOs. Could it happen this year? Possibly, but we don't know, because no one ever knows, and they're always trying to guess and predict. We have a good idea from history, and I always like to go back and look at history and what the real estate market's done, different things like that. So it's one of those that, could he be right that a lot of people are going to sell? Yeah, he could be right. Will it flood the market? Right now, it doesn't seem so. So it's one of those that we'll have to keep seeing what's going to happen with this, but don't freak out. Again, when you hear these people on social media, when they use words like crash and things like that, whether it be in the media world, on TV, or on social media, you got to do your research. You got to dive in. Are they trying to just get clicks and followers and all that stuff, or are they actually giving good information? That's what you need to look for. If you have more questions about this in the Phoenix area, I just had some conversations with people about VRBOs, Airbnbs in the Phoenix area. I would love to have a conversation with you, just talk through ways that you can be profitable. There are ways you can be profitable. You just have to be smart with how you do it. So I would love to have that conversation with you. Guys, you've been listening to The Real.